initially block of all the other modes. And it says my GM is kind of like in the six of them, so it's basically in the middle of all the selections. My point of reference is a little bit of an older book, but it's called Basketball's Greatest Stars. So we'll be going over some of the Basketball's Greatest Stars as well. So to get better at 2K, you need to have some knowledge about who the Basketball's Greatest Stars are. If you want to perform well, you have to have the best. So that's why people watch the NBA Finals, to find out who is the best players, right? Who made it to the Finals. So a lot of times, the Finals will have some of the best players, but to find out about past best players, this is a great book to find out about past great players and how they played. For example, if you're watching the NBA Finals right now, you know who this is. This is LeBron James. And if you're looking at my screen right now, LeBron James packs are out. He has proven to be one of the NBA's greatest stars. Basketball's greatest stars. He is international. I'm here in Canada talking about LeBron James and how if you want to be good at an international game, you should have at least one LeBron card. So LeBron goes good with any team. So currently I have LeBron with a team, a defensive mindset team. His chemistry with this team is 87. I don't think there's a coach in this game where LeBron's chemistry will be lower than a 70. And look, Steph Curry is not the best at, he gets a pass, but he's not the best at a defensive first mindset of a coach. So his chemistry actually goes down for the team. So that's why it's at 58%. Alright, so we're gonna go to one of my personal favorites because I'm Canadian and I love seeing other Canadians achieve. Having a Steve Nash card will really increase assists. If you're trying to learn how to pass the ball, Steve Nash card, for example, this is a Steve Nash card I currently am using. If you look on the screen, this Steve Nash card is very good at passing, very great at playmaking, A+. That's one of the highest, most point guards. This is point guards. The best point guards I have, most of them are A's. Even Russell Westbrook, who averages a triple-double, is an A-. Most of them are A's. Except if they're over diamond, then they're going to be most likely A+ at that. But this is a sapphire Steve Nash, and he's still an A+ at assists. So if you're trying to learn how to pass, have a Steve Nash in your. If you're trying to learn how to pass and you're not very good at passing, have a Steve Nash in your deck. He will definitely increase your passing ability and make it easier to pass the ball. Or if you're more of a modern day player and you like, if you like to see people who are currently playing in the NBA, not people who used to play in the NBA, but currently, I would suggest D'Angelo Russell as a passing point guard. He can also do a lot more, but if you want a primarily passing point guard who can dribble the ball, I would have D'Angelo Russell as my primary point guard to pass the ball for modern day point guards. But if you want a pass point guard who is also an MVP, a Steve Nash card is good. The market right now, I think the cheapest Steve Nash card you can get is about 8,000 MT. It's not very cheap, but it is. That's the MVP. 8,000 MT is a good deal for our auction for Steve Nash That's the buy now price for Steve Nash. I can clarify that for you. Let me clarify that for you. Steve Nash, I think the lowest you can get him for is about 8,000, but I haven't checked in a while because I've owned a Steve Nash card for a while now. I'll say 8,000. I think the minimum you will be able to get him for buy out now is 8,000. Oh, it's even higher. I'm actually gonna set it at no max right now and see what I can. Because Steve Nash is an MVP, and MVP means most valuable player. So if you do see a Steve Nash, they usually go for about 8,000, and they're usually pretty difficult to come by because Steve Nash is an MVP. And by this time in the year, people are like, "Yo, who are the best players?" Right? So if you can go online early in the year, a lot of noobs don't know who Steve Nash is. They see that he's good, but they're like, he's not currently playing, so who is this guy? And they don't do the research. So you can get a good Steve Nash for about 8,000 BC. But in this year, Steve Nash is actually a gold card, and if you go to the end, if you see Steve Nash, you're like, oh my gosh, this is Steve Nash. He's actually he's not, I would say he's difficult to get, because he's the second highest gold card to get, besides Shaquille O'Neal. I say Shaq. Yeah. So I'm about to go finish and try to go get Iguodala and JR. I'm about to get JR. Yeah, you know, Steve Nash is even featuring in the back of the picture of JR. If you look in the little the background, yeah, he's making a feature right there. He's in the picture. All right. So back to the topic of how to get better at 2K. So if you want 3-point shooting, this is a really good. I'll show you a really good 3-point lineup. So you want to coach first off like Steve Kerr, who is very predominant. When Steve Kerr was a player, he was known mainly for his 3 and D. So you want to coach who can help players with threes. He limits turnovers, so limiting turnovers is good. But he also, in my opinion, improved shot distribution. So Steve Kerr is a good 3-point shooting team, because if you have even shot distribution, you have a lot of 3-point shooters, you can get a good amount of shot distribution. So like having Steph Curry, having what Golden State has right now is a really great lineup. Like, you don't really have to change that if you have Steve Kerr as a coach. So get a Steph Curry, get a Klay Thompson, even a Kevin Love instead of a Draymond is a great pick for them if you're trying to learn how to shoot threes consistently and have a good team for it. But you do need a solid rebounder, like a McGee or Tristan Thompson, or if you want to go old school, go like a old school. I mean, like throwback cards, Hakeem Olajuwon, or even a Joakim Noah, very good defensively. I'd probably say the best defensive card I have in this game, even though Hassan Whiteside is rated 95 and Joakim's rated. But you know what makes him even more amazing? He has 7 Hall of Fame badges that are all defensive based. All his Hall of Fame badges are defensive based, while cards like Hassan Whiteside, he is also, I think, a 90, something like a 99 overall defensive, but he doesn't have the same 7 Hall of Fame badges that Noah has. He has a lot of badges. He has more badges than Noah with the 16, but he doesn't have the Hall of Fame defensive ones that Noah has. So Noah, if you're looking for defense, is better than Hassan Whiteside. In my opinion, this version of Noah is better than this version of Hassan Whiteside if you're going for defense. But if you're going for offense, Hassan Whiteside is better inside, Okay, and but if you want a great 3-point shooting team, you actually don't really need a 3-point shooting center. You need someone who can rebound the ball effectively and has decent playmaking so they can pass it out to a guard or a forward who can shoot a three. So you want a strong rebounding center, like Joakim Noah or Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson's not as good as at playmaking, his rating says anyway. He's D versus a C, but a strong rebounding center, if you're on a budget, would be a Tristan Thompson. If you're not on a budget and you have a lot of MT, go for a Joakim Noah. If you're trying to go for an Amethyst, or if you're looking for another, you're looking for an A plus rebounder. Or an A minimum A if you're going with a 3-point shooting team, because a lot of those 3-point shooters don't have the best rebounding stats. And they're not going to be near the ball to rebound it because they're shooting threes, right? So you need a strong center who can rebound the ball very effectively. So A would be the lowest I would suggest going with if you're trying to compete competitively online with a center with a 3-point shooting team. So even a Chris Anderson is a great pickup. If you're a little bit more on a budget, he is really good defensively. I picked up this Chris Anderson because he's really good defensively. And yeah, and he really great defensively. And he also can playmaking's not that great, but he will. I wouldn't really shoot a three with him because it's D and it's most likely not going to go in. But if you have an emergency, you can shoot three with him. Yeah, if it's wide open, it's emergency. All your other guys are double teamed or getting. You can shoot a three with him. It has a probability of going in. I think his three is at like 60, maybe 55 or something like that. Alright, let's see his three. So, standing jump, 3-point. This is technique, still ability. This is ability. Open shot three. With the coach I have, because Chris Anderson's a really good defensive player, it actually goes to 68. Open shot three. That's fairly decent. That's a 70. That's basically that's a good chance of going in. Contested three, good chance of going in as well. But you want a 3-point shooting center who can also do decent rebounding, I would get a DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is probably a solid. He is a solid defensive center who also can rebound and shoot the three. But you don't want to have. It depends. I will be back in a couple minutes to finish up. Did I open my pack yet? No, I didn't. Did I even get my pack? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to finish up the LeBron challenges, and then I am going to actually go online and do Supermax. I'll be doing a 6-hour show for tonight. So I just need to. I'll be taking a couple minutes breaks in between, because like 6 hours is kind of ridiculous. But it'll be on air. You just want to think about what I said, and I will. Yeah. So, yeah, I need to text this person. Just need to use the phone for a sec. So, back to if you want to be very effective at this, there's some hidden gems that you can get in this game. Like Dwight Howard's a Hall of Fame caliber player, but he didn't. A lot of people, if you haven't seen, if you're new to basketball, don't know about Dwight Howard because he's not on a very winning team of right now. His team is actually they didn't make playoffs, so a lot of people only watch the playoffs or watch the finals. So you wouldn't know if you're new to basketball, you wouldn't know about Dwight Howard, and you'd actually be able to get his card for very, very cheap if you're new to the game. You're just watching the playoffs. So I think Dwight Howard right now would a Hall of Fame caliber player is going for like 500 VC, their minimum, and it's kind of a gold edition of Dwight Howard. Let's see if I'm right. Yeah, you can get rows and rows of Dwight Howards for 500 VC. And that you can make that 500 VC in one game. And he is a dynamic duo with Kemba Walker. So yeah, you can get Kemba and Dwight will actually go up to not a sapphire but an emerald, and solid rebounder, A+ rebounding. Him in his career, he averaged 2 blocks, so great defensively as well in the post. He can't shoot very well from mid-range or the 3. But what he lacks in three-point shooting, he makes up in basketball IQ, because he has very high IQ for a center, and he's a very great rebounder. So on a three-point shooting team, if you have a Dwight Howard, very effective, usually, if you know how to use him properly. Alright. But the only thing is, he's kind of like Shaq in the fact that he can't. He's just not the greatest free throw shooting center. For his career, he's averaging about 57% from the line. So that's basically a hit or miss. So you might make one and miss one. That's what you can expect from him from the line. So if it's a clutch game situation, if you're down by 2, you don't really want him being fouled. So get the ball into someone else's hands if you're down by 2 and they're gonna get fouled. Or if you're down by 2, if you're winning and you have the ball, last possession, you have the ball, you're winning. You want to extend your lead if you want to win. If you want to win the game, or complete the challenge, and you have to score more baskets than the other team scores, Dwight Howard is not the player you would want at the free throw line. You'd want his dynamic duo like Kemba Walker, because he will most likely make 2 for 2, while Dwight will make maybe 1 for 2 or 0 for 2, or has the possibility of making 2 for 2, but most likely 1 for 2 at the free throw line. Alright, I'll be back, and we'll be talking about some of the people my generation I didn't even know about these people, because I was born in the 90s, so I didn't actually see these people play. I didn't see these people play. I grew up watching people like LeBron James dominate the league, and Kobe Bryant dominate the league and Europe, and people like I would say Ricky Rubio that was my generation. Those are the people I saw as growing up, and normally as on TV and stuff. But we're gonna go. We're gonna go with a throwback player who actually got drafted in about 12 years before I was born. His name is Patrick Ewing. He was the overall #1 draft by the New York Knicks. He helped build the franchise to what it is today, and we will go over a little bit about him. He's actually a card I'm gonna be saving up to get soon. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go over that soon.